Sometimes we look around and we see people that are quote unquote perfect and happy and doesn't have any mental illness. They didn't go through benzos. Maybe they didn't have horrendous things happen to them. They didn't have death in their family or tragically lost people they love. They weren't diagnosed with diseases or illnesses or cancers, disabilities. They didn't go through traumatic events. They weren't abused as a child. They didn't have alcohol and drug abuse in their family, or they didn't battle that kind of stuff themselves. They didn't maybe grow up in really poor neighborhoods, dealing with, crime and everything that comes with poverty and living in that kind of, under those circumstances. These are the people that just seem always happy. They don't really understand you. Well, why are you sad? And sometimes you look at them and you say, why the hell are you so happy? Do you know something I don't know? Are you not aware that we're all dying? We're all aging. We none of us know how the hell we got here, where we're going, why we're here. Outside of maybe you have your religious beliefs, or maybe you have your philosophical beliefs, but underneath it, there's that existentialism, that existential crisis that everyone has, or everyone at least needs to, venture through. But you see these people, they're just happy-go-lucky. And sometimes from the outside, you're jealous of them. You're like, God, you don't even want to see them. I can't see happy people. It just reminds me of what I'm missing. But I think you need to turn that a little bit upside down, inside out. Turn that around, because from my experience, guys, first off, I've never met anybody who was 100%. So even people that are happy, you can be delusionally happy. You can be putting on a fake happy face, or you can be just blissfully ignorant. You can just be blissfully ignorant. But there's always something there. It's something in the personality. It's a numbness of the soul, a deadening of the dream, a lack of character, lack of personal development. There's this sort of Bovinian living that you can fall into. You're just like cattle grazing in a field, just eating grass all day. And we go, wow, that cow is so happy. Is it? Is that the way you want to live? Is that what life was? Just a series of grazing and sleeping until you die? I don't think so. And I'll tell you, I've worked in the arts my entire life, and I've met so many amazing people, many famous people even. Everybody from actors and directors and artists and poets and writers and comedians and you name it. And the most interesting people, the people that most inspire me, the people I want to be around, all come from some kind of crazy background. They all have something. They all battle something. They've all battled something. They've come from poverty and crazy, just unbelievable circumstances of adversity and trauma and in some ways dysfunction. Some of the most funny, cool, awesome people I've met are real people. And I mean real in the sense of being whole. They've had a real whole experience of being alive, which means you can't have the sweet without the sour, right? And if you have strawberries every day, eventually it loses its flavor. It loses its meaning. Sweet's not even a word anymore. If you didn't have the sour, how would you even have a word like sweet? It would just be what it was, and you would take it for granted, and you would become desensitized to it. But if you've been chewing on lemons for a while, and you chew and then you taste a strawberry, oh my God! You think this is the nectar of God. I found it. I can appreciate this. This is amazing. The sweet's never sweet without the sour. So you look at your own life and what you're going through, and you're looking at all this sour. Right now you are chewing on lemons. But the silver lining is on the other side of it. You can truly taste and appreciate the strawberries. You finally understand on the other side why strawberries exist. It's almost spiritual at that level, dare I say. And you don't take it for granted anymore. It's transformative. The sweet is never sweet without the sour. And none of us are as interesting or fully developed without having gone through the darkness that we endure and go through. So don't be jealous of people when you see them having, this sort of carefree, super happy, nothing ever goes wrong life. If that's even real. But if it is, you'd almost pity them because they're missing half the experience. And they may never really ever fully develop in a way that you have this opportunity to. But the risk is this opportunity to become something even better through like a diamond being, created under pressure, right? Or as Stephen King said, is that dab of grit, of dirt that gets into the clamshell that forms the oyster's, the oyster's pearl, right? So we can look at life and see these examples where, something seemingly bad produced something beautiful. So don't be jealous of these people. They should be jealous of you in a sense. And you might laugh and go, yeah, Dave, they're going to be jealous of me laying in bed, losing everything, going through. Yeah, it's horrendous. I get it, man. But on the other side of it, and this is the part I'm telling you guys that you can't see yet, the treasure waiting for you on the other side, the potential. Once you get there, I promise you'll say, I see it now. Yeah. You'll say something wild one day, maybe that you'll think, I would never choose this. But in a weird, crazy way, can't believe I'm saying this, I'm kind of glad it happened because it had to happen. Something had to come around and shake me to my core to really make a new organism, to make a new being. Because people don't change. Really hard to change, guys. I mean, you really need to go through something. You really need to have your life flipped upside down and inside out to change. Or what we do is we're like satellites in space. We just sail on in the same direction at the same speed forever until something comes along and taps us. So again, the sweet isn't as sweet without the sour. Make that your mantra. You're chewing on lemons. But on the other side, some amazing things are going to wait for you. And don't get fixed on the other side. I mean, it's good to look ahead. Think about what you want to do. Do you want to go back to school? Do you want to start a business one day? What kind of great shape can you get in? Let's go. Why wait? Lose that weight. Get that diet right. Get moving now. Start now. Even if you have to do baby steps. And keep moving forward, because eventually, as the saying goes, those baby steps are going to lead to giant leaps, giant strides. Right? And sky's the limit on the other side. Maybe you'll write a book. Maybe you'll start a new business. Maybe you'll become a great artist or a writer or who knows? You'll travel the world. You'll eat great food. You'll just spend your life appreciating and somewhat sort of enlightened. I mean, even this, if you look at the great prophets like Jesus, his life, I mean, look at how he became that way. He didn't just wake up one day perfect and divine. Look what he went through. I mean, all the way to the bitter end. Take the account of the Buddha, who was living this beautiful, perfect life as a prince, a future emperor of an empire, completely shielded from life. I mean, they were trying to keep the Buddha completely insulated. They didn't want him to see anything about dying or aging or sickness. And it took him seeing that by accident, a dying man, a sick man, an aging man. And he had a kind of a mental breakdown, which in itself is a mess. It really sends a message that not everybody has a breakdown. We all see people aging and dying and sick. But when you've been sheltered from it and then that experience happens, holy crap, it breaks you because you've been so delicate, right? And so what did he do? He ran away from everything. He lost it. And he went on a journey of self-discovery. He was completely poor. He was starving, and he was out there in the elements with nothing. No money, nothing. Lost everything. He had to lose everything to gain the world, to find himself, to wake up. Right? Then he came back. And that's where you are right now. You just can't see it. So I implore you, be brave, be strong, have integrity, have dignity in your suffering. Look at what you're going through, and look, there's no quick fix or nothing, right? All we can do is all we can do. But ask yourself, if you were to die tomorrow and your family, your kids, and everybody saw a movie or read a book about your life, would you be proud of that? Would you be proud of it? Or would you look back and say, God, I wish I fought harder? Because even if I was going to lose, I would have rather gone out on my shield. I would have rather gone out fighting, to the bitter end. I would have let this thing run its course, knowing I did every damn possible thing I could to beat this. Right? Or will you just get hit and fall on the ground and lay there and die and give up, succumb? Is that the message? Well, I'll tell you, that's not the message of human spirit, of the human heart. It isn't. But everybody needs a Mickey, right? Like in Rocky. Everybody needs someone to believe in them, someone to poke and prod them and push them in the right direction and motivate them and say, get up. Get your ass up. Don't give up. Fight this thing. You can beat this. You can beat this. The sweet is never sweet without the sour. And you are on a journey of a complete human transformation. So do not be jealous of those people who are so happy-go-lucky, who's never had anything bad happen to them. Because they're not as interesting as you, chances are. They're not as potentially as creative as you. They can't feel the world with the depth that you potentially can have after going through this, or even now. And if you're a spiritual person, and this is a very key point here, guys. If you're a very spiritual person, I don't even mean religious. I just mean you're just spiritual. You love nature. You love, there's some kind of quality to your spirit. And whatever you define God as, however you define it, if God's an energy, if it's like the Force in Star Wars, if it's actually a deity, if it's nature, if it's intelligence, if it's life force, if it's love, you can, let's say love. You can never be as close to God without going through this suffering. The guy running around in his yacht in perfect health and perfect body, and he's got the perfect life, and he's just so free, and everything's great. He's living the damn dream. No scars, no wounds, no battle wounds. I'll tell you, he's as far away from God, love, as anyone can be. So although you can't see it yet, trust old Dave here. You are heading to somewhere amazing. So keep your head up. Walk tall, my friends.